The homeless man outside the base gate stopped me and said, "Don't go on the training op tonight. Check the maintenance logs first." I spotted him outside the base gate, a homeless guy, in torn fatigues, pacing back and forth like he was waiting for someone. I was walking back from the commissary when he stepped right in front of me. "Sergeant Blake," he said. His voice was too clear, too commanding for a street person. I stopped, surprised he knew my name. "Do I know you?" He glanced around nervously. "You need to check the maintenance logs for Vehicle 7. Don't take it out tonight." His grip on my arm was firm. His eyes were sharp, despite his disheveled appearance. "What are you talking about?" I asked. "Ask about Lieutenant Xavier's accident last month. Check Vehicle 12's brake records. Look at Corporal Owen's crash report from Vehicle 3. He spoke quickly, urgently. I pulled my arm away. "Who are you?" "Someone who doesn't want more soldiers to die." He backed away as a security patrol approached. I watched him disappear beyond the fence line. Probably just another vet with mental health issues. I pushed the encounter from my mind and continued to my barracks. 3 hours later, I was suiting up for the night training exercise. My squad was assigned to Vehicle 7 for Sector 7 operations. Something about the homeless man's warning nagged at me. I checked my watch. 30 minutes until we rolled out. I decided to swing by the motor pool first. Sergeant Tyrese looked annoyed when I asked about the maintenance logs. "What do you need those for?" "Just checking something," I said. "Can you pull up Vehicle 7's records?" He sighed but turned to his computer. The digital logs appeared on screen. "Vehicle 7 has been serviced 3 times in the past month," he said. "Steering problems." I frowned. 3 times for the same issue? Mechanic Antoine says he fixed it each time. Tyrese scrolled through the records. "But the problem keeps coming back." "What about Vehicle 12? I asked, remembering the homeless man's words. Tyrese pulled up another record. "Brake issues. That was Lieutenant Xavier's vehicle when he trailed off." "And Vehicle 3? I pressed. "Engine failures. Corporal Owen was driving it when he crashed 2 months ago." A cold feeling settled in my stomach. "Can you show me all maintenance records for vehicles involved in accidents over the past 6 months? Tyrese hesitated but complied. The pattern was clear. Every training fatality involved vehicles with documented mechanical issues. I pulled out my phone and called Sergeant Terrell. "I need you to meet me at the barracks right now." "What's going on?" he asked. "I think someone's sabotaging our vehicles." Nolan from base security approached as I was leaving the motor pool. "Sergeant Blake, I need to speak with you." "I'm in a hurry," I said. "It's about your interaction with an unauthorized civilian outside the gate earlier." His expression was serious. "Several witnesses reported you speaking with him, and—" "Just some homeless vet," I said, trying to sound casual. "Wanted money." Nolan didn't look convinced. "Description matches someone we've been tracking." "What did he tell you?" "Nothing important. I needed to get away, to find Terrell. Look, I've got to prep for tonight's exercise." I hurried to the barracks where Terrell was waiting. I showed him the maintenance reports I'd photographed on my phone. "This can't be coincidence," I said. "Every vehicle that crashed had documented problems that were supposedly fixed." Terrell studied the images. Xavier died when Vehicle 12's brakes failed. Owen died when Vehicle 3's engine seized up. C9, Sablist. And now we're assigned Vehicle 7, which has had steering problems 3 times this month. I ran my hand through my hair. "Someone's falsifying these repair records." Terrell looked up sharply. "Who assigns the vehicles for night training?" "The commanding officer. Commander Zaria handles the rotation personally." I tried calling the base commander but got voicemail. Next, I called Darius, the duty officer. "I need tonight's exercise canceled," I told him. "On what grounds?" he asked. "I think Vehicle 7 has been sabotaged." Darius sighed. "You need evidence before I can cancel a scheduled exercise, Blake. The maintenance logs show." "Logs showing repairs were completed isn't evidence of sabotage," he interrupted. "Get me something concrete." The call ended. I turned to Terrell. "We need to stop my squad from taking that vehicle." My phone buzzed with a text from Brandon. "Already at Motorpool. Rolling out in 5. "Too late," I said, showing Terrell the message. "They're already leaving." We ran toward the motorpool, but by the time we arrived, the vehicles were gone. I stood there, breathing hard, feeling helpless. "Look," Terrell said quietly, pointing toward the fence line. The homeless man was there, watching us. In the security lights, I could see his face clearly for the first time. "I know him," I said, recognition hitting me like a punch. "That's Julian." "Julian?" Terrell looked confused. "Sergeant Julian, who died in that training accident 6 months ago?" "The same." I stared at the man who was supposed to be dead, and I think he knows who's behind all this. I started walking toward the fence, toward Julian, determined to get answers before more soldiers died. I met Terrell in his barracks an hour later. He'd brought his laptop and a stack of base newsletters. His expression was grim. "You need to see this," he said, spreading the newsletters across his desk. I pulled every issue from the past year. I leaned over to look. Each newsletter had memorial service photos for the soldiers who died in training accidents. Xavier's was from last month, Owen's from 2 months back, 3 others from earlier incidents. "What am I looking for?" I asked. Terrell pointed to the background of Xavier's memorial photo. "Who's that?" I squinted. Commander Zaria stood at the edge of the frame, her face solemn. "The base commander. Now look at Owen's." He slid another newsletter forward. There she was again. Same position, same expression. I quickly scanned the other memorial photos. Zaria appeared in every single one. "That's not unusual," I said. "She's the commander. She attends all memorial services." Terrell pulled up the base's digital training schedule on his laptop. "Check this out. Zaria personally assigns vehicles for night training. No other commander has ever done that." My stomach dropped. "She's targeting specific soldiers." "But why?" Terrell asked. I shook my head. I don't know yet, but we need to stop tonight's exercise. I called Darius again. He answered on the fourth ring, sounding annoyed. Blake, we've been through this already. The vehicles are being sabotaged, I insisted. Commander Zarya is personally assigning faulty vehicles to specific squads. Darius laughed. You're accusing the base commander of murder? Are you insane? Just delay the exercise until we can inspect Vehicle 7, I pleaded. This conversation is over, he said. Get some sleep, Blake. You sound paranoid. The call ended. I looked at Terrell in frustration. He won't listen. My phone buzzed with a text from Brandon. Already in Vehicle 7. Heading to Sector 7 now. Damn it! I slammed my fist on the desk. They're already gone. Terrell grabbed his jacket. We need to find that mechanic. Antoine. We rushed to the motor pool. The night shift mechanic pointed us to the back office where Antoine was finishing paperwork. He jumped when we entered. What do you want? He asked, eyes darting between us. I closed the door behind us. Vehicle 7's steering problems. You claimed to fix them 3 times. Antoine's face paled. I did fix them. Then why do they keep happening? Terrell demanded. Antoine looked down at his hands. Someone keeps tampering with them after I sign off on the repairs. Who? I asked. I don't know, he whispered, but I was ordered to sign the completion forms regardless. Ordered by who? Terrell pressed. Antoine looked terrified. Commander Zarya. She said it was for efficiency, that the vehicles needed to stay in rotation. I exchanged looks with Terrell. We need to talk to Lieutenant Xavier's widow. Talia Xavier lived in family housing on the north side of base. She answered the door in sweatpants, her eyes red from crying. She seemed surprised to see us. Sergeant Blake, what's going on? I need to ask about your husband, I said gently. Did he mention any concerns before his accident? Her expression changed. He was worried about the vehicles, said the maintenance records were being falsified. Did he report it? Terrell asked. To Commander Zarya directly, she said, the night before he died. I felt sick. Thank you. We need to go. Outside, I called Corporal Owen's sister, Brianna. She answered immediately. My brother kept a notebook, she said after I explained why I was calling. He documented every vehicle issue he found. I have it here. Can we see it? I asked. I'll text you photos, she promised. He was going to show it to the base inspector general the day after he died. The photos arrived minutes later. Owen had meticulously documented every maintenance discrepancy. The final entry was about Commander Zarya, ordering mechanics to clear vehicles despite unresolved issues. We need to get into Zarya's office, I told Terrell. Now, base headquarters was quiet this late. We used my security badge to enter the administrative wing. Zarya's office door was locked. I can't break in, I said. That's a court-martial offense. Terrell pulled out a key, maintenance master key, perks of dating someone in facilities management. The office was dark. Terrell used his phone's flashlight while I searched through Zarya's desk. In the bottom drawer, I found a folder labeled Training Rotations. Look at this, I said, spreading the papers on her desk. She's been matching specific soldiers to problematic vehicles. Terrell pointed to a highlighted name on tonight's roster. Brandon's name is marked. He's driving Vehicle 7. We need to stop them, I said, taking photos of the documents with my phone. They're headed into the mountains for night maneuvers. Blake, Terrell said quietly. There's something else. He held up another folder. Inside were personnel files for Xavier, Owen, and 3 other dead soldiers. Each had filed complaints about vehicle maintenance in the weeks before their deaths. She's killing whistleblowers, I realized. My phone buzzed again. A text from Brandon. Steering feels weird. Vehicle pulling hard to right. I showed Terrell. We're out of time. We ran toward the motor pool. I needed to find Julian. He was the key to this whole thing, and I needed to stop those vehicles before more soldiers died. I found Julian crouching behind a dumpster near the motor pool fence. His eyes darted around nervously, scanning for security patrols. He didn't seem surprised to see me. You finally figured it out, he said. Why did you fake your death? I demanded. Julian's face hardened. Because I discovered what Zarya was doing. I was next on her list. We ducked behind a maintenance shed as headlights swept across the yard. Julian spoke quickly once they passed. 6 months ago, I noticed the pattern in vehicle assignments. Every soldier who questioned maintenance protocols ended up in a compromised vehicle. Why not report it? Terrell asked. I did. Julian's laugh was bitter. To my commanding officer, to the inspector general, nobody believed me. He pulled a small notebook from his pocket. The pages were worn, filled with dates and vehicle numbers. I documented everything. Zarya gets commendations after each death. Her career advances with every memorial service. But why kill her own soldiers? I asked. She eliminates whistleblowers while building her reputation as a commander who overcomes tragedy. Julian's voice was cold. The brass see her as resilient. She's been promoted twice in the past year. My phone buzzed again. Another text from Brandon. Vehicle pulling hard right. Something's wrong with the steering. We need to stop them, I said. They're heading into the mountain route. Julian nodded. I know someone who can help. Military Criminal Investigation Division, Agent Amara. Terrell made the call while I kept watch. Within minutes, we had Amara on speakerphone. I need evidence, not theories, she said after Julian explained the situation. Check Commander Zarya's deployment schedules against maintenance logs, I said. She's targeting specific soldiers. That won't be enough for an arrest, Amara replied. We need proof of tampering. I might have that, a female voice said from behind us. We spun around. Karina, the base newsletter photographer, stood there with a camera in hand. I was taking night shots of the base for next month's issue, she said. I caught something interesting at the motor pool earlier. She showed us her camera display. The images clearly showed Commander Zarya tampering with Vehicle 7's steering column. The timestamp read 1843, less than 3 hours ago. Send those to me immediately, Amara ordered through the phone. As Karina transferred the photos, Jamal, the base commander's assistant, approached cautiously. I overheard your call, he said. Zarya has a pattern. She targets soldiers who question her authority. You knew? Terrell's voice was accusatory. Jamal looked ashamed. I suspected. I've been documenting discrepancies in her reports for months. My phone rang. It was Darius. Blake, we just got an emergency call from Brandon's squad. Vehicle 7's steering failed completely. They're stuck on Mountain Ridge Road. Any casualties? I asked, my heart pounding. Not yet, but they're in a precarious position. Vehicles teetering on the edge of a drop-off. Julian was already moving. I know a shortcut. We can reach them in 15 minutes. We piled into Terrell's truck. Jamal handed me a tablet. This has all of Zarya's records. The password is her birthday. As we sped toward the mountain route, I called Brandon. Don't move the vehicle. We're coming. Hurry. Brandon's voice was tight with fear. The ground's unstable. We can hear rocks falling. Terrell pushed the truck faster. The headlights cut through the darkness as we raced up the mountain road. Zarya knows we're onto her, Jamal said, checking his phone. She just ordered an immediate deployment for you, Blake. You're supposed to report in 30 minutes for overseas assignment. Classic move, Julian muttered. She's trying to get you off base. We rounded a curve and saw the flashing hazard lights ahead. Vehicle 7 was tilted at a dangerous angle, its front right wheel hanging over a steep drop. Brandon and 3 other soldiers stood a safe distance away. Everyone's out, Brandon reported as we pulled up. We abandoned ship when the steering locked up completely. A helicopter appeared overhead, its spotlight illuminating the scene. Agent Amara's voice crackled over a loudspeaker. Commander Zarya has been detained. Military police are securing all evidence. Relief washed over me. I turned to Julian, who was staring at the damaged vehicle. It's over, I said. He shook his head. Not until we account for every vehicle she's tampered with. There are 3 more training exercises tonight. Amara landed the helicopter in a clearing nearby. She approached with 2 military police officers. We need your statements, she said. All of you. We're building a case against Commander Zarya. What about the other training groups? I asked. All exercises have been suspended, she confirmed. We're conducting emergency inspections of every vehicle. As dawn broke over the mountains, we sat in the base conference room. Amara spread the evidence across the table. Maintenance logs, deployment schedules, Karina's photographs, Julian's notebook, Jamal's records. Commander Zarya was found destroying documents when we arrested her, Amara said. But Jamal had already backed up everything. Talia and Brianna arrived, their faces showing a mix of grief and vindication. Will this bring justice for Xavier and Owen? Talia asked quietly. Yes, Amara assured her. We have enough evidence for multiple murder charges. I watched as Julian emerged from the bathroom, freshly showered and wearing a proper uniform for the first time in months. Coming back from the dead? I asked. He nodded. Time to testify about what I saw. My phone buzzed with a message from Brandon. Vehicle 7 just went over the edge, crashed 200 feet down. That could have been us. I showed the message to Terrell. We both knew how close we'd come to losing more soldiers. To Zarya's twisted ambition. How many others? I wondered aloud. How many accidents at other bases weren't accidents at all? Amara looked grim. That's what we're going to find out. This investigation is just beginning. I raced toward the training area with Julian beside me. Terrell's truck bounced violently over the rough mountain road. The headlights caught Brandon's squad huddled at a safe distance from Vehicle 7. Everyone accounted for? I shouted as we skidded to a stop. Brandon nodded. We all got out when the steering locked. The vehicle started sliding toward the edge. As if on cue, the ground beneath Vehicle 7 crumbled. We watched in horrified silence as it tumbled down the mountainside. Metal screeched against rock before a final crash echoed through the darkness. That could have been us, one of the soldiers whispered. Julian stared at the edge, just like my accident, except I was the only one who made it out. Agent Amara's helicopter arrived minutes later. She jumped out with 4 military police officers in full tactical gear. Her expression was grim, but determined. Commander Zarya is in custody, she announced. We found her attempting to delete files from the base server. Did she succeed? Terrell asked. Amara shook her head. Jamal had already secured copies of everything. We have all the evidence we need. We returned to base as dawn broke over the mountains. The command center was buzzing with activity. Military police guarded every entrance while investigators combed through records. We've identified 7 suspicious accidents over the past year, Amara told us in the conference room, all connected to Commander Zarya's vehicle assignments. Talia and Brianna arrived together. Their faces showed the same mix of grief and vindication. Will this bring justice for Xavier and Owen? Talia asked quietly. Amara nodded. The evidence is overwhelming. Zarya won't escape accountability this time. Julian emerged from the bathroom wearing a fresh uniform. His beard was gone, and his hair was military short again. The transformation was startling. Coming back from the dead? I asked. He gave a tight smile. Time to testify about what I saw. The military tribunal convened 3 days later. The room was packed with officers, investigators, and family members of the victims. Commander Zarya sat at the defense table, her face a mask of cold defiance. I testified about finding the pattern in the maintenance logs. Terrell described discovering Zarya's presence in every memorial photo. Karina presented her photographic evidence of Zarya tampering with Vehicle 7. Julian's testimony brought the room to complete silence. He described discovering Zarya's sabotage pattern 6 months earlier and her attempts to silence him. I staged my own death because reporting through proper channels got other soldiers killed. he explained. Lieutenant Xavier tried. Corporal Owen tried. They both died within days of filing reports. Talia clutched a photo of her husband as she testified. Xavier told me he was worried about the maintenance records the night before his accident. He said he was meeting with Commander Zarya to discuss his concerns. Brianna presented her brother's notebook. Owen documented every vehicle issue he found. He was going to show it to the Inspector General the day after he died. Jamal's testimony was perhaps the most damning. He provided years of records showing how Zarya's career advanced after each tragedy. She received commendations for her leadership during difficult times, he explained. Each death became a stepping stone for her promotion. When Zarya finally took the stand, her demeanor changed completely. She sat straight-backed and proud, showing no remorse. I was eliminating weak links, she stated coldly. Soldiers who questioned orders and complained about equipment weren't fit for combat. The tribunal chamber erupted in outrage. Family members shouted while military police maintained order. Zarya remained unmoved by their anger. I was preparing my unit for war, she continued once the room quieted. In combat, there's no time for complaints or second-guessing. The verdict came swiftly. Zarya was found guilty of 7 counts of premeditated murder, attempted murder, and conspiracy. She was sentenced to life imprisonment without possibility of parole. As they led her away, she looked directly at me. You've weakened the unit, Blake. When they deploy, they'll be unprepared for the real world. I didn't respond. Her twisted logic didn't deserve acknowledgement. 1 month later, I stood with Terrell, Julian, and Brandon at the memorial service for all the soldiers who had died in Zarya's orchestrated accidents. Lieutenant Xavier's and Corporal Owen's names were prominently displayed. I've been authorized to implement new vehicle safety protocols, I told them. Double verification on all maintenance, random inspections, and driver training on mechanical failures. Julian nodded in approval. We'll call it the Xavier Owen Protocol. Brandon pointed to the new memorial plaque. Their deaths won't be forgotten or wasted. Talia approached with a small boy clutching her hand. Xavier's son wanted to meet the soldiers who brought his father justice. I knelt to the child's level. Your dad was a hero. He tried to protect other soldiers, and now we've made changes so no one else gets hurt. The boy solemnly handed me a folded paper. Inside was a crayon drawing of soldiers, standing next to vehicles with big red check marks on them. That's my dad watching over the safe trucks, he explained. I carefully folded the drawing and put it in my pocket. This is going up in the motor pool where everyone can see it. As the ceremony ended, Agent Amara pulled me aside. We've opened investigations at 3 other bases. Zarya's not the only commander who's been using accidents to advance her career. You need help? I asked. She nodded. We're forming a special investigation unit. Julian's already agreed to join. We could use your expertise too. I looked across the memorial garden where Terrell was talking with Brianna, and Brandon was showing the motor pool staff the new safety checklist. Count me in, I said. No more soldiers die from accidents on my watch. The Xavier Owen Protocol was implemented across all bases within 6 months. Vehicle-related training deaths dropped to 0. Julian was officially reinstated with full honors and back pay. I still keep that crayon drawing pinned above my desk. It reminds me every day what we're fighting for, and what happens when good soldiers stay silent.